What's going on, everybody? It's Game Unboxing Reviews here, and welcome back to another LEGO Dimensions video. So in today's video, myself and my good friend Nick, better known as TheGamingMex, we're going to be talking about the top 5 franchises that we'd like to see in LEGO Dimensions. So the way this is going to work is basically I'm going to share all of my ideas that I'd like to see first, and then Nick is going to share his, and then we'll end the video. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first up on my top 5 franchise list is from a movie that was probably one of my childhood favourites. I mean, it's such a great movie, and even to this day, it has aged tremendously. It is, of course, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. This is a franchise, or basically just the movie, is something that I could see joining LEGO Dimensions eventually. I really do think so. Maybe not in year 3 or year 4, but it's gonna happen one day. I'm pretty certain of it. And there's high demand for it. I mean, if you look at Alpha Parsons' tweets, there's been a few people who have sent him, their own designs of what a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory pack could look like. So there is demand for it. People do want this in the game, and I really do think it might happen one day. Now, what I've tried to do with each of these franchises is be as detailed as possible, because I've tried to basically create a pack out of the franchises, and it's been kind of difficult for some of them, and some of them not so much. So what I've decided to do for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is a fun pack, and with that fun pack you'd of course get the great Gene Wilder's Willy Wonka, as well as the Wonka-mobile. There's a lot of other stuff you could do, there's other things in the movie they could use instead, but those were the things that I chose. And for the adventure world, obviously it would be Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. I mean, can you imagine how cool that would look in game? It would be this beautiful, colourful world. I mean, it would really look amazing. I really hope that this movie comes to LEGO Dimensions one day, because I think it might have the nicest looking adventure world, that this game has ever had. And, obviously they could maybe design the town as well, but I think the main thing you'd want to see would definitely be the actual Chocolate Factory. And I'm not entirely sure what you would have the battle arena be for, this kind of pack, but I'm sure they could think of something pretty cool. So next up we have Ben 10. Now this is a franchise which I've seen rebooted so many times now. It must be, what, the 4th time it's getting rebooted now or something like that. I mean, I watched the original series when I was younger. It was great. It was a really cool series and I loved it. I absolutely loved watching it. And then I think it got rebooted and he was a teenager and I wasn't, excited about that one as much, and I think they did it again. I'm really not sure. I'm not up to date on the whole Ben 10 universe, but the original TV show is great. It's so good. I absolutely loved it, and I would love to see it in LEGO Dimensions one day. I mean, I know they're rebooting it again, and that one might actually end up in the game, but it would be great if they go back to basics and put the original series in, because it's the best in my opinion. I absolutely love the original series. So of course what this could have is be a fun pack. Now I know people will be like, what? Ben 10 is a fun pack? What about a level pack? Imagine being able to play through an entire Ben 10 episode. That would be cool, but I can't actually think of another, like a gadget or another vehicle, because what I've came up with is for the fun pack, obviously it comes with a Ben Tennyson minifigure and the Rust Bucket. I think that's the best vehicle that you could probably take from Ben 10 to use in this game. Now obviously Ben is, he's well known for having 10 aliens. He can transform into 10 different aliens. And in the original series, they started off with Ghost Freak, Accelerate, Diamond Head, Heat Blast, Forearms, Wild Mutt, Stinkfly, Grey Matter, Ripjaws, and of course Upgrade. And obviously, those are the ones that I'd like to see in the game. But if they wanted to add more, that's totally possible, because in the show, obviously, those are the ones he starts off with, but eventually he gradually gets more and more and more, and I think in those reboots or the continuations or whatever you'd call them, he gets even more. And there's like one episode where he's called Ben 10,000. Obviously, they're not going to do that, but that was an amazing episode, and he had tons of different aliens. I remember it was really cool. So if they want to expand on 10, they could totally do that, but personally, for now, the ones I'd be excited to see is just the originals, because I just really like the original 10 aliens that Ben can transform into. And my favourite was always Heat Blast. I mean, being able to play as a Lego Heat Blast in like a Ben 10 adventure world, that would be insane. I really hope that Ben 10 finds its way into LEGO Dimensions one day. And even if it is the reboot, I'd just be happy to have that character in the game, because he'd be so cool and he'd be so useful. You could have Heat Blast melt gold Lego objects. You could have Ghost Freak be able to turn invisible and get past cameras and all that kind of stuff. There's tons and tons of things that you'd be able to do. And of course, big figures like Forearms and Diamond Head, they could smash cracked Lego objects. There's just loads of things that Ben 10 could do. He could probably become the most useful character in the game. So hopefully it finds its way into LEGO Dimensions one day. So the next franchise which I chose is Futurama, and basically the reason I chose this is because you have The Simpsons, why not Futurama? And to this day, I still don't understand why they cancel Futurama. I mean, it's such a good show, why would they do that? But hopefully it comes back one day. I mean, I think it was cancelled and then brought back and then cancelled again, so yeah, hopefully it comes back because it was such a good show, and I definitely want to get back into it. So anyway, what I've decided to do for Futurama is a team pack, and the team pack includes Fry as a minifigure, Bender as a minifigure, and the Planet Express ship. Now obviously when it comes to a team pack, it's supposed to have 2 characters and 2 items, and I couldn't think of a second item, so for now it's just Planet Express ship. But just imagine a mini Lego build of that. That would look so cool. I'd really like to see that. And just being able to wander around New York in the 31st century as Fry and Bender, it would be so cool. And they could totally add more characters like Leela and things like that. There's tons of possibilities there. I think, you know, with The Simpsons they did Homer, they did Bart, and Krusty. So, you know, that's 3 characters, and that I've only chosen 2, so you could totally do more. Absolutely. I mean, Futurama's a big show full of lots of really exciting characters. So next up, it's pretty clear that I've put the most amount of effort into this franchise in particular, and it is of course Men in Black. Now the reason I've done that is because I just love Men in Black. I mean, I think it's such a good trilogy of movies. I like all of them. You know, if I had to go in order, I would say 1, 3, 2 in terms of best to worst. But even then, I don't hate Men in Black 2. I just think 3, you know, 1 and 3 are better. So anyway, what I've decided to do for Men in Black is a level pack, and of course that comes with Agent J, obviously the great Will Smith as a minifigure. You also get the MIB 1987 Ford LTD Crown Victoria, the MIB mono wheel from Men in Black 3, or, because I've added a, you know, an extra thing here just in case, you know, the devs would want to do something else, you could add Jeff the Worm from Men in Black 2, because I think that would be quite a fun one. Being able to play as Agent J and ride around on Jeff the Worm, I think that would be pretty great. Now for character abilities, what I've decided to do for Agent J is he has his standard issue MIB Agent Pistol, so obviously you'd press square and it would do, you know, what you expect it to do, but if you hold circle, he gets out the Noisy Cricket, which is obviously, you know, the little blaster that he used in the first movie, and it has really powerful recoil, so, you know, when you use it, it will do a big blast, but you'll also go flying back. I think that would be really cool to see in a Lego game. And pressing circle when prompted in combat will make J take out his Neuralizer. Now this, I've always wanted to see how that would work. I think it would be cool in a Men in Black game where you actually get to use the Neuralizer on people. And the best way I can think of it for a Lego game, or for Lego Dimensions, is just to use it in combat. So you're pressing circle in combat, you know, and then he uses the Neuralizer, and basically what happens to the enemy is it makes them forget everything. Literally everything, and then they fall on the floor and then to pieces, so they kind of go dizzy and then fall to pieces. I just think that would be really cool to see in the game. And the other thing for character abilities, this is something which I'm not sure if they would do, but Agent J, I think he should be able to change into Agent K and Young Agent K. But there's a catch with Young Agent K, but we'll talk about that in a second. Now, the reason I'm not sure if they do that is because I think they might probably make Agent K a fun pack. I could see them doing that. But if they, you know, didn't want to use a character again who would probably have the same abilities as Agent J, this could be an alternative. And I'd like that. I would be perfectly fine if Agent J transformed into Agent K. It would just be cool to have, you know, 2 minifigures. That's the only downside, I would say. You wouldn't get an Agent K minifigure. Now, for the in-game content, what we have, of course, is a level, and what I've decided to call the level would be Look Right Here, which is, of course, a reference to the Neuralizer, and for the Adventure World, it would be 2012 New York City. But here's a cool thing. What I've decided to do is, imagine if you can get, you know, climb all the way up to the top of the Chrysler building, and then you can jump off and do a time jump like in Men in Black 3, and then you actually travel to 1969 New York City. That would be awesome. I would love that. And it would be even cooler if, let's say you're playing as Agent K, and then once you do that, you know, once you travel to 1969, you appear as Young Agent K. I just think that would be so cool to be able to play as Josh Brolin's version of Young Agent K. That would be sweet. I would absolutely love that, because then we'd have, you know, the 3 main protagonists from the movie, basically. I mean, it'd be great. And finally, for the Battle Arena, that was a tricky one. I wasn't, you know, sure on what to call it, but I guess the best bet you could have for Men in Black would be Luna Max Moon Prison, which is obviously the one Boris the Animal escapes in Men in Black 3. So that's pretty much all my Men in Black ideas. Like I said, this is the one which I went into the most detail on, but I've been wanting to see Men in Black in Lego Dimensions for ages, so I've pretty much, you know, gathered all the information that I can think of that would be great addition to this game. So hopefully, if TT Games are listening, this finds its way into Lego Dimensions one day, because it would be amazing. And last but most certainly not least of my top 5 franchise list is the 2017 Power Rangers movie. Now the reason I chose this is because growing up, the original Power Rangers TV show, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, was a big part of my childhood. I absolutely loved watching it. And after that, it was still good, but eventually I grew out of Power Rangers and just wasn't as interested. Now I can look at it and be like, yeah, that's cool, and of course you have the memories from the older series, but this movie, what I love about it is it's taking such an iconic franchise and modernizing it for a whole new generation, and I think that's really exciting, and I can't wait to see how this movie turns out. So this movie, it's going to be a big movie, and it's a brand new movie, and when it comes to things like that for LEGO Dimensions, right now, of course, you got Ghostbusters, that was a big and new movie, and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that's coming up, and that's a big and new movie. So if Power Rangers was to be added to LEGO Dimensions next year, it would absolutely get a story pack. Now then, what I've decided to do for my idea of a story pack is it would come with a certain minifigure, and that would of course be Jason in his Red Ranger suit. I can't wait to see how that would actually look, because I love the new designs of the suits. I think they're awesome. And if you got to have a Power Ranger, you got to have a Megazord. I don't even know if they're confirmed to be in the movie yet, but you got to have a Megazord. I mean, it would just look awesome as a little Lego version. It would look so cool. And again, when it comes to story packs, they have these little bricks that you can put on the toy pad to build something from that movie, but we don't know enough information about this movie to actually say what that could be, so I couldn't say right now. But for character abilities, again, we don't know enough about this movie to say what the Rangers will actually be able to do. So I've only thought of one ability, but it's a very cool one and one probably everyone would love to see. So what I've done is basically, yes, you play as Jason in the story pack, but you can also switch into the other Rangers. Now here's the cool thing. So you would put Jason on the toy pad and he'd actually appear in his civilian clothes. Then you'll hold down a button and you can become, the Red Ranger. That is how it would work. But then you could also bring up the character wheel and choose Trini, who could change into the Yellow Ranger, Zach can change into the Black Ranger, Kimberly can change into the Pink Ranger, and Billy can change into the Blue Ranger. I just think that would be awesome. I know there's some people online say that if they did ever add Power Rangers, they'd probably make all the Rangers fun packs, red, green, blue, all that kind of stuff. I don't think they would do that. I think that's a lot of fun packs, so I definitely really couldn't see that. I'd personally prefer this because it would be cheaper and it would give you access to all the Rangers and maybe even some bonuses. And just being able to use both, the Power Rangers in their costume and in the civilian clothes would be really cool. And with story packs, obviously, you get 6 levels, you get an adventure world, and you get a battle arena. Now, for the levels, I couldn't say what they would be called, but for the adventure world, the funny thing about this is the movie apparently recently has been filming in Vancouver. Now, I'm not sure if they're just filming in Vancouver for certain scenes, or if the movie is set there. But if it is, then obviously Vancouver will be the adventure world. And again, battle arena, have no idea what that would be. But lastly, I didn't want to leave you guys hanging, so what I thought of, you've got the hero. And who's the villain for this movie? Rita Repulsa. So what they could also do is a fun pack with Rita Repulsa. I have no idea what she would come with, but it would just be cool to have the hero and the villain from this awesome upcoming movie. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for my top 5 franchise list. Let me know what franchises you would like to see in LEGO Dimensions in year 3 or year 4 or whatever. There's tons of possibilities that come to mind on what could be added to this game. Now, of course, it is Nick, also known as TheGamingMex's turn to share his ideas. So, take it away, Nick.
Thanks, Ben. You got a great list there. Hopefully Ben 10 does happen, as I do really want to see Heat Blast and some of the other aliens in LEGO Farm. But anyways, what's up guys, TheGamingMex here, and I'm doing a video on my top 5 franchises I want to see in year 3 of LEGO Dimensions. So first on my list is Zelda, which was one of my favorite games to play as a kid, coming in year 2 as a LEGO City pack. And LEGO City was an exclusive to Wii U and was under Nintendo's guide. So seeing that Chase is coming to LEGO Dimensions, it gives me an idea of Nintendo allowing TT Games to feature one of their franchises. So what franchise other than Zelda to feature in this great game? Zelda would be a fun pack, of course, featuring an adventure world and a shell-shaded environment. I don't know a lot about the game as I haven't played it recently, but the gadget coming with the pack would be a shield, and a vehicle coming with the pack would be his horse, Epona. So that's what I think of a Zelda pack would look like. And next on my list is Jaws, which I've talked about a lot because it has a soft spot in my heart for me. Jaws would be a level pack featuring the first film, and an adventure world revolving around Amity Island and a giant beach with sharks everywhere. The pack would have a gadget of a cannon of some sort that shoots out tanks that explode. The vehicle would be a boat that needs to be bigger. And the pack would be a great addition seeing as TT Games are adding classic movies to the game like Mission Impossible. The third franchise on my list would be Matrix, which also has a soft spot in my heart. The pack would be a team pack with Neo and Trinity, or if you want to go that Harry Potter team pack route, Neo and Agent Smith. The gadget is a hard one up to come up with. I couldn't think of one off the top of my head. Maybe a phone or something. But the vehicle would be, of course, the shrunken down Nebuchadnezzar. The movie would fit perfectly in the game as well. So next on my list is Indiana Jones, which I have gotten their treatment of Lego, but I'd love for them to make a comeback in this game. I don't really have a lot to say for Indiana Jones, as I just see that as a slight possibility. So if you'd like, comment what you think an Indiana Jones would look like. Maybe a fun pack, a level pack of the new movie, I don't know. And lastly, number 5, I had to add a Pixar classic, Toy Story. This would be a great addition because Lego have made actual figures on Toy Story. So TT Games wouldn't need to worry about coming up with figures. You know, the pack would be a team pack coming with Woody and Buzz. The gadget would be a cannon of fireworks. And the vehicle would be RC, the remote controlled car Woody and Buzz drive. Or the pizza van. The adventure world would be Andy's room, where you could freely explore all the areas in his room. Maybe the doors open. You could go downstairs, you could see Andy's dog, in some of the other rooms, like Andy's sister's room. But I don't know, these are all just slight possibilities. But I do hope TT Games let Zelda, Jaws, The Matrix, Indiana Jones, and Toy Story in LEGO Dimensions. They are all possible. I mean, they are adding Beetlejuice, so why not add The Matrix? But those are my lists. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. And if you got a list of your own, put it down in the comments if you want to. See you guys. Peace.
Alright, thank you very much, Nick. That was an awesome list, and I'd especially love to see The Matrix in LEGO Dimensions, because as many people know, that is one of my favourite movies of all time. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I mean, myself and Nick, we just wanted to share our top 5 franchises that we'd like to see in LEGO Dimensions. But remember, you know, this is just the top 5. We could probably think of tons of other franchises that you could add to this game, because this is the type of game where you could just keep adding to it for years on end. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas whatsoever that you would like to see in LEGO Dimensions, put it in the comment section below, because I would love to read them. Alright guys, so we want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.